Well, I think John has the local government experience. I think John brings youth and vitality and vigor. He's a strong leader, and he has a vision that I think is good for the Lehigh Valley.
When you see the crowd right now, everybody is still optimistic and everything else. How are you feeling right now?
Well, I'm always optimistic. I think, it's not over till it's over, and we don't have an opportunity to see which wards have come in and which ones are still out there. I'm hoping a city like Easton isn't in yet, because Easton went really big for John Callahan. I think his message was right on point. I think his opponent tried to paint him as being a spending liberal, a tax and spend liberal, and he's not. I mean, he's 4 years without a tax increase in Bethlehem. He did not vote for his own raise. The city council does that, not the mayor. I think campaigns have become so twisted of the facts that the public, I think, is just lashing out. And I thought they would lash out for Callahan. I'm hoping they still do before the night's over.
All right, and we'll keep watching. Thanks so much, Mayor Panto. Of course, like they said, they're going to keep watching, and we'll bring you the latest. Right now, Wendy and Rob, back to you.
All right, thanks, Will.
Thanks. And Charlie Dent, as we mentioned, is the leader, about 15, 16 percentage points at this point. Jaccii Farris is covering the Republicans at the Best Western in Northampton County. Jaccii.
Appearance along with Senator Pat Brown in just a few minutes. But to talk a little bit about the mood of the room, the mood for Republicans in the Lehigh Valley and across the nation, joining me now is Pennsylvania Representative Doug Reichley with the 134th Pennsylvania District. Now, first of all, congratulations on your own victory tonight.
Well, thank you very much. I owe it all to all the volunteers and the folks who helped us out.
Talk to us a little bit about the political season for Republicans. It has been, especially in the case of like Dent's and your own race, a lot of scrapping going on, trying to hang on to seats and take over seats.
Right. I think there was an unfortunate amount of negative campaigning that went on, perhaps from both sides, but these elections had high stakes associated with them. Certainly it appears the national trend is going to allow Republicans to take over the U.S. House, and statewide it looks like we're going to be able to take over the Pennsylvania State House, and with Tom Corbett winning the governor's office, it's really going to put us in a position to make some substantive changes at the state level.
Now, I was talking to the Republican chair earlier tonight about what needs to be done. I know that we've got a valley, we've also got a nation divided, Republicans, Democrats, everybody's got a different idea about exactly how to make those changes. How exactly do you think that on the state level and on the national level we're going to be able to achieve that?
At the state level, it's going to begin and end with starting to cut state spending. That is a theme that resonated with Republicans, Democrats, and independents, not only in my district but throughout Pennsylvania. And I think that kind of message is also ringing true down in Washington. So when you have families struggling, businesses have been cutting back, government has to be in the same position. We're not going to eliminate a safety net. I think people need to understand that. But we're certainly going to be taking a hard look at every line item of discretionary spending, and where we can reduce it, if not eliminate it, we're going to be doing that.
Now, I know the numbers aren't in for governor, but obviously I would assume that you're pulling for Corbett at this juncture.
That's right, and I think it's an age-old thing here in Pennsylvania. The East reports early, so Democratic candidates go out to an early lead. Allegheny County may have given Mr. Honorado a bit of a bump, but I think you're going to see the Central T come in for Corbett very strong, and so he's going to win at the end of the night.
So that's going to be a dramatic shift in policy and philosophy if we do shift parties up in Harrisburg.
Yeah, I think you're going to have a situation where, much like we just had in Washington, where Republicans, the opposite is going to happen. Republicans are going to be in control of both houses of the General Assembly and the governor's office. And as I told voters for the last few months, we're going to be put to the test. We are going to have to do what we said we were going to do. We have about an 18-month window of opportunity. And if we don't prove that we're worth what we said, we're going to get tossed out just as the Democrats are getting tossed out tonight.
All righty. Thank you so much, Representative Doug Reichley, for joining us. And once again, we're hearing that Charlie Dent is going to be making an appearance here in the ballroom to address all of the people who have been waiting here all night to hear from him. And as soon as he shows up, we'll bring him to you. Back to you guys.
Jaccii, thanks very much. So if Representative Reichley is right, just so we're all clear on what the shift is in Pennsylvania tonight, whereas before you had a Democratic governor, democratically controlled House and Republican Senate, now it looks like the Republicans will have all three, if he is right, which points us in the direction now of the governor's race, and it looks like it's time to say that Tom Corbett has, in fact, taken it tonight.
That's right. You can see right here, 80% of the precincts calculated so far, and Tom Corbett being declared the winner here, and we are going to go out to Corbett headquarters right now, or actually Honorado headquarters in Pittsburgh. Melissa Fullerton standing by out there. And Melissa, are you seeing these same numbers with Corbett being declared the winner right now?
Yeah, we do this over there.
Yeah, guys, we haven't heard anything yet. We have heard that Corbett is in the building. He snuck in the back, and right now joining me is Jim Byrne. He is the chair of the Pennsylvania State Democratic Committee. Mr. Byrne, right now we're hearing that Mr. Corbett has won this race. A lot of media outlets calling this race. Was it ever even a possibility for Democrats to win in this election? It seemed like such an uphill battle.
We have a 1.2 million registration advantage, and we had a very good coordinated campaign this year. Philadelphia came out in good numbers. We were very encouraged and thankful for that. Dan came out of Philadelphia with a great lead. He's done well in the urban areas. People were telling us not even to show up today. Well, that wasn't the case. A lot of hardworking Pennsylvanians, good Democrats, and moderate Republicans got the message of Dan Honorado's leadership and wanted to go in that direction.
I know Mr. Honorado is very well known here in Western Pennsylvania, but it seemed like one of his challenges was getting his name out in Eastern Pennsylvania, even having that ad where he pronounced his name for folks. Do you think that was an issue that was tough for him to overcome in this election?
Not at all. I mean, once he got his name recognition up in the Philadelphia and Eastern area, the numbers we saw from some of those communities out there jumped dramatically. And when you look at the margin of victory that Dan Honorado had in Philadelphia, name recognition was definitely not an issue there.
Now, I know that this has been a tough race for all Democrats. Mr. Honorado tried to separate himself from Governor Rendell throughout this race. Do you think there were any low blows from the Republicans and the Corbett campaign? There was a lot of back and forth in the media and the advertising. Do you think they went over the line at any point?
Well, there were some commercials that we thought were factually inaccurate. Some of the specific commercials that they ran against Dan, and some of the things they tried to do. I've worked with both leaders. They're both remarkable leaders in their own way, but they were not the same person. And some of the things that they attempted to attribute to Dan Honorado's leadership were things that existed in this region well before Dan Honorado became the chief executive. So there were some disingenuous commercials going on out there. But at the end of the day, we were very effective with our message, and Dan did an outstanding job in his campaign this year.
Lastly, we're expecting Mr. Honorado out here any minute. What do you think he'll say to this crowd?
He's going to thank them for their hard work and their commitment to his campaign and his candidacy. And I'm sure he'll say words to that effect. We're looking forward to hearing what he has to say and telling him that we're for him, we love him, and we look forward to working with him in the future here in Allegheny County, and who knows what else is in our future out here.
Thank you very much, Jim Byrne, the chair of the Pennsylvania State Democratic Committee. Like we said, we hear a rumor that Dan Honorado is in the building. He snuck in about half an hour, 45 minutes ago, but we have yet to see him make an appearance. But we are expecting him to address this crowd very soon, especially with many places calling this election in favor of Republican Tom Corbett. For now, we're going to send it back to you, and we will check in as soon as he takes the stage.
All right. Thank you, Melissa. Okay, you can look at that board right now in the race for Congress. Gerlach with the lead right now over Manin Trivedi, and this one close right now still. 90% of the district's reporting, as you can see right here, and you can see this one very tight as Gerlach tries to hold on to that seat.
And other congressional races that we're following for you tonight, besides the 6th, the Republicans are doing well, and that is a true statement as pertains to this race here, to the 7th district race. This would be the seat, interestingly enough, held by Joe Sestak for the last few years, and Patrick Meehan, the Republican, the former prosecutor, out in the lead by 10 percentage points now over Democrat Brian Lentz. The polls had indicated it was an edge to Meehan, and Meehan's opening up a lead in that race tonight. There's a third-party candidate, as you see there on the bottom, who actually, interestingly enough, was recruited apparently by some Lentz campaign people to join the race. All
right, now this one, an interesting race going on in the 11th district here for Congress. Lou Barletta, the Republican here, taking this seat from longtime Congressman Paul Konjorsky. Now, Barletta took him 3 times here, but this is the year that Barletta appears to have been able to unseat Paul Konjorsky, so that another seat being handed over to the Republicans right there in the 11th district.
Yeah, but Republican year. Now, here's a case where Allison Schwartz holds on to the seat she's held for several terms. Democrat in a district that's partly Montgomery County, partly a city of Philadelphia. Newcomer Dee Adcock taking her on, but Allison Schwartz hangs on to the 13th district seat in Congress. So not all these seats are flipping parties by any means tonight.
All right, this one, another race closely watched. This one, you're looking at Fitzpatrick and Murphy here. Right now, Fitzpatrick with the lead over the incumbent Patrick Murphy. Of course, Murphy took the seat from Fitzpatrick back in 06. Fitzpatrick trying to take it back now from Murphy. And this one very tight, but Fitzpatrick seems to have the lead right now. A good lead with 90% of the district's reporting. Widening it since last we saw that, yep. And to the 17th district race, I think our first look at this race where the incumbent is Tim Holden, and he's hanging on to try to get himself a 10th term. The challenge comes from longtime state legislator David Argall, and it's a 55% to 45% lead for Holden in that 17th district. A popular lawmaker for many, many years, 59% of the votes in now in the 17th district race. Tim Holden looks like he'll get a 10th term. In general, though, Republicans across Pennsylvania, including Charlie Dent, are doing very well this evening. That's right. And we were told that John Callahan, you can see here, is losing to Charlie Dent, is at the podium in Bethlehem Township. Let's see.
It's a tough night. You know, it's kind of bittersweet. What I have told my campaign staff and something I've told all our volunteers throughout, and something I try to preach to my kids is, you know, you do the best you can. And we certainly did the best we could tonight. There is always tomorrow, that is for sure. Listen, I ran this campaign with the thought in mind that when the polls closed tonight at 8 o'clock, that we would leave nothing on in the locker room, that we'd leave it all in the field. And with this campaign, from start to finish, has been run at a very high level with a tremendous amount of energy. And you know, this is not a room with the energy of a campaign that lost. And I think, again, I think that's a good indication of the way that we've run this campaign. And I always tell my boys, I told my daughter, it's not how many times, thank you, it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's about how many times you get back up. So thanks, Chris. Listen, Albert Einstein said that many of the great achievements of the world were accomplished by tired and discouraged men, now I'll add women to that, men and women, who kept working. So I know in this room there's a lot of tired and somewhat discouraged folks, but tomorrow we will get up and we will start working again. And that's what we do. Because we will work because we believe in what we're working for. We're working for opportunity. We're working for folks to continue to strengthen the middle class. We're working to try to bring jobs here to Lehigh Valley. We're working to try to make government live within its means and decrease our debt and deficit. We laid out a very clear plan for this campaign, but folks, it was a tough environment. I think we all got to recognize what took place tonight, and it's not reflective of the campaign that we waged. It's not reflective at all of the work that we put in this campaign. And I could not be prouder of our team. I couldn't be prouder of the volunteers and all that you've done. I want you to know that I called Congressman Dent just a couple of minutes ago and congratulated him on his win. You know, we will go back to working hard tomorrow. I know all of you will do that because that's what you believe in. I will do the same, and I look forward to working with Congressman Dent in the future. And look, this is that's what campaigns are about. But ultimately, we all want to do what's best for the Lehigh Valley. I ran for mayor because I wanted to make my community a better place. I ran for Congress because I want to make Lehigh Valley a better place. So that's what we're all here fighting for. That's why we wage this campaign, because we believe in our ideals. And so I need you all to you know, time heals all wounds. We're gonna get back up tomorrow and fight and work harder than ever. So listen, There's not a lot of people thought we had a chance. Not a lot of people thought we'd be here tonight, but we proved a lot of people wrong, and I'm proud of you. There's plenty of time to make speeches. Tonight is not necessarily a night to do that. Tonight is a time to say thank you and to be grateful. Grateful for the great country we live in, grateful for this community, but most importantly, it's a time for me to be grateful for all the hard work that all of you have done. I want to thank the thousands and literally thousands of supporters that have helped this campaign over the last year and a half. Our Get Out the Vote effort over the course of the last 4 days is second to none. It's a field operation that the likes of which I don't think the Lehigh Valley has ever seen in decades. And that's all of you. And my heart goes out to you for all that you've done.
We're hearing from John Callahan there, conceding to Congressman Charlie Dent, the incumbent.
And we talked about this before. Callahan has always been regarded as a very strong Democratic candidate. Tough year, though, Republican year. We're seeing Republican gains. Of course, the Pennsylvania legislature, the U.S. House, maybe not the Senate, but gains in the Senate. So it is quite a Republican year. Charlie Dent will serve another term, and there he is at the Best Western in the Bethlehem area. And coming to the podium, he's victorious. Another term in Congress for Charlie Dent, who has got a record of appealing to folks from both parties, Democratic Party registration advantage in the district, but Congressman Dent has often run well and scored well here, and he does again tonight. Let's listen to Congressman Charlie Dent, the Congressman-elect, I guess we should say. Almost ready to talk to the crowd.
Thank you all for being here tonight, and what a night this is. I'm standing here as the people's choice for the 15th district really because of all of you. And I can't thank you enough for your dedication, your commitment, and your trust. And that's really what's carried the day here today. So thanks to all of you, really, for all your work. I can't thank you enough. And I hear you, Scott. I can't express just how honored I am to be entrusted with this great honor and responsibility to serve as your congressman. But tonight is really more than a political victory. Tonight is about getting our country back on track. You know, because make no mistake, we need to change course. Everybody understands that.
Oh, yeah. Preach it, brother.
We see that when people are losing their homes, losing their jobs, and really struggling to make ends meet. This has to change. We've got to do better. You know, our region has been through very tough times before. You all know that. And we really know the truth. There is no such thing as too big to fail. We know that around here. And we can't continue to allow the government to enact crippling policies that impose a restrictive environment that will result in a new paradigm of too small to succeed. The good news is there is nothing wrong with our community or America that we cannot change for the better.
Yes.
In tough times here, it has always been the strong work ethic, entrepreneurial spirit, and innovation of our fellow citizens that has allowed us to get back on our feet, stronger, wiser, and more ready to face challenges than ever. In this last Congress, my job has been to stand up for you against job-killing policies that will take us in the wrong direction I'm here to tell you tonight that in this new Congress, I look forward to supporting constructive policies that will control spending, limit the role of the federal government in our lives, enhance our freedoms, protect our homeland, and unleash the true power of America, our people, and our innovative ideas that will lead to more jobs. You know, that's what it's going to be about. You know, we can't let this energy that we've seen here tonight in this congressional district and all across this country, we can't let that energy dissipate. The people are involved and engaged and really making sensible demands of their government. This must continue. If it only lasts for just this election day or shortly thereafter, then nothing is really going to change. So stay involved, stay informed, and please stay in touch with me. And I promise that I'm going to listen, because a leader needs to lead. But just as important, a leader better know how to listen. And we have heard the message. And we have heard, I know I've heard this message, but I think people are hearing this message all across the country. I don't know what's happening out there right now, except it seems like there are going to be a lot of new faces in Washington. I have to say something about my buddy Mark Kirk out in Illinois. He's about to become the next senator from Illinois. He just sent me an email. In closing, I just wanted to say a very few words. Of course, to congratulate Pat Brown, who was so kind to introduce me. He's been a dear friend. And I know we're going to have a lot of other people to congratulate tonight. But I want to congratulate Pat. I always said Pat Brown's a really bright guy. And he's a workhorse, not a show horse. He is a real workhorse of the Senate. And smartest guy on taxes and finance that I know out in Harrisburg. But again, just a few things. I want to thank my dear and lovely wife, Pam, for all of her love and support. She puts up a lot. She puts up with a lot in so many ways, and I can't thank her enough. You know, these campaigns they think are really stressful on me. They're more stressful on her and the family. So, but I can take it. But it's harder for the family. But she really puts up with it and deals with it just fine, graciously. And of course, I want to thank the pride and joy of our lives, our children, Catherine, William, and Jack. This is Jack right here. Go ahead. And they have a lot of studies that they're actually worried about tomorrow, believe it or not. But they really are. And I always say I never have to tell my daughter Catherine to study for anything. She does it all on her own. It's amazing. I wish I was that motivated. And I should also introduce my mother, who is here with me, and also.
All right, Congressman Charlie Dent, you just heard there, heading back to Washington for the 15th District.
Another turn for Charlie Dent. He wins tonight. A lot of Republican victories to report on tonight. Some Democratic wins as well, and an incredibly tight Senate race in Pennsylvania. We'll have more on all of that when we come right back.
You see them here. You see them there.
All right, things are fast developing now at some of the big races. Here we have Corbett, the winner in the governor's race in Pennsylvania, over Dan Honorado. Dan Honorado out of Pittsburgh is speaking right now.
I got a great extended family who's sitting down here in front of me. I got a lot of great friends that are in this room tonight, have been with me a long time in my life. I want to thank them for being here. And I got a lot of good new friends around the state, from every corner of the state, from the Northeast to the Southwest to the Northwest to the Southeast to Philadelphia and all their suburbs in the middle of the state. It's been a great ride. It's been a 2-year battle. It's been a heck of a campaign. I mean, it's a tough environment out there, but I got to tell you, I enjoyed it. I got in this race to talk about the ideas. I got in this race to talk about moving Pennsylvania forward. We got our message out there. We had a spirited debate. The two of us talked about where we want to move the Commonwealth. We brought up a lot of good issues, and we fought the battle. We fought the battle, and we came up a little short today, but our voice was heard. And I want to thank all of you. I got to thank the hundreds and thousands of volunteers. First, I want to thank my staff. I want to thank my political staff in Pittsburgh and in the other parts of the state. We had them scattered all over. I know you guys worked 18-hour days for me wherever you are in this room, and if you're watching tonight on TV, Shelley and I personally thank you for what you've done for this campaign. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I want to do a special thank you to all my friends, the women and men in labor. I want to thank you. I want to thank you. You guys helped me talk about the battle of maintaining the middle class and increasing the middle class, and I can't thank you enough for all your help throughout this campaign and throughout my career, and I'm proud to call you friends and stand up here right now and thank you for what you've done for me. Everybody in labor. Michael, thank you. Finally, I'm going back to my job as county executive again, and I want to. I have another year. We have a lot to do yet in Allegheny County, and I look forward to going back to that. I want to thank my office and my staff in the courthouse too, because when you run for office, and both of us were running and we held office, it is difficult to do that, but it makes it a lot easier when you're surrounded by quality individuals. And I got the best staff in any county in this state. And I want to thank them right now for what they do. They're troopers. They're real troopers. And I want to. Well, right now, let's get through the evening here and have a little bit of fun. I want to thank all of you for really giving me the greatest opportunity of a lifetime to be able to represent the Democratic Party, running for governor, to represent a major party and crossing this state and getting to see Pennsylvania in a way that I probably never would have seen it if I wasn't in a candidate campaign. I met great people. I got to see how beautiful the state is. I got to see how diverse the state is. And I got to see what made the state so great, our diversity and what the people do and how they make the state work every day. I really am lucky. I want to tell you, I enjoyed this ride. Obviously I wish the outcome was different, but the voters spoke tonight. And I know the political process. I've been on both ends of it, and I respect it. And I respect the fact that the race is over now, and we all have to move forward. And I'm going to do everything I can, not just to keep improving Allegheny County, but do my part to improve Pennsylvania as one of the leaders of the second region of Pennsylvania. And finally, I want to thank my wife, Shelley, who put up with probably the hardest part of my schedule. Shelley, thank you. Thank you very much. If you know anything about races, you know what the spouse puts up with in a race.
All right.
Dan Honorado wrapping things up in Pittsburgh, and as he said, it's over. He's conceding. Tom Corbett is going to be your next governor of Pennsylvania, part of a Republican sweep to power in the halls of government in Pennsylvania tonight.
That's right. We're going to head over to Tom Corbett headquarters right now in Pittsburgh. And Bo Koltnow is standing by there. I have to assume, Bo, that the mood there is definitely picked up.
Wendy, I'm standing in the middle of a very happy Tom Corbett crowd. He has been elected the next governor of Pennsylvania, and you guys never know who you're going to find in an election campaign party. And right now we have the Lehigh County District Attorney, Jim Martin. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, it's good to be here.
So you're a long way from Lehigh County. Why are you here, sir?
Well, I've worked closely with Tom Corbett over the last 12 and a half years. He and I have become friends. I admire him, and I'm just thrilled that he's going to be the next governor.
And you're somebody who has been very, very tough on crime. The city's been trying to be tough on crime. As Attorney General, Tom Corbett has been tough on crime. What do you think he will do for the state of Pennsylvania, public safety-wise?
I think Tom Corbett will be a very activist governor from the standpoint of law enforcement. He's devoted his career to that up to this point. He understands the issues. I'm looking for a governor in the same mold as Tom Ridge in 1995.
So then obviously you're very excited.